Recording in. This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Patty Dorn with the Maryland Insurance Administration Education and Advocacy Unit, and I'm going to be the moderator for today's Lunch with Mia. This is resources for older Marylanders. So many older adults and their loved ones do wonder what resources are available to older adults in Maryland. And today we have the pleasure of having with us from Maryland Department of Aging, Bernice Hutchinson. The Maryland Department of Aging is a state agency that helps establish Maryland as an attractive location for older adults through vibrant communities and supportive services that help them lead healthy and meaningful lives. Today's event will allow the Maryland Department of Aging to share their resources. Before we get started, and in an effort to reach consumers about future events, we want to do a quick poll to see how you got here. So that poll should appear on your screen. If you can just give us the feedback as to how you got here. And if you don't see it, no worries. Certain versions of Zoom, it won't show up. And obviously, if you're calling in from the phone, you're not going to see it. But we really appreciate that feedback. It helps us advertise and reach out to you about events, upcoming events. Thank you for that. All right, I'm just going to give it a few more seconds. And thank you so much for the feedback on that. So to make sure that we continue to provide good quality information, that's essentially what that is for. So now I'm going to get into some housekeeping rules. This event today is being recorded, as you saw. Please leave your computers on mute, leave your phones on mute. And if you're not presenting, if you could please keep your camera off. If you have questions for today's speaker, please use the chat box. You can at any point put a question into the chat box, and then I'll come back after Bernice is done speaking, and we'll do a Q&A at the end. And so with that, I would like to introduce you to Ms. Bernice Hutchinson. She's Deputy Secretary for the Maryland Department of Aging. Ms. Hutchinson leads the internal administration and management of the department's day-to-day operations. She oversees the department's programs and spending while developing essential partnerships to ensure a coordinated statewide delivery system that promotes choice, independence, and dignity for older Marylanders and their caregivers. Ms. Hutchinson advocates to protect the rights and quality of life of older adults, and most importantly, to provide the services necessary to allow them to age at home and in their communities. Welcome, Ms. Hutchinson.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being with you today, and I do want to thank each and every one of you who is tuning in for today's presentation. I also want to explicitly and particularly express my gratitude to Joy Langford. We've had many years working together and on a range of topics, and I find Joy to be just that font of information and always just looking to accomplish the bottom line. So I definitely want to start off by welcoming you all to the Maryland Department of Aging. And basically what I'd like to share here is the fact that our department, let's see, I'm getting a lot of people at the, maybe I'm not controlling my screen properly, but I'm getting a lot of people over top of my presentation. Let's see, maybe I need to change something there. It's actually, it's not totally covering, but it's mainly covering my screen, so I'm not able to view the slides myself. Anyone have a, okay, I think I've corrected it. All right. Okay. So I am, do you all have full screen on the slides? Because the slides are actually cutting off.
Bernice, mine is set to side by side and it shows, what is it set to under view? Yours?
Side by side.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go, can you go full screen?
Okay, let me just. Okay. All right. I've gone full screen. That helps, but I'm also now, I am so sorry. I'm not sure why this is such a problem. Okay, I'm still getting a very long black mark across the bottom, which is cutting off a big portion of the slide.
You want to try side by side gallery?
Okay, so it's something that I'm doing.
I
Okay.
don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's not helping either. Okay, well, let's just forge on. Welcome to the Maryland Department of Aging. In the next hour, I hope to share with you a large bit of what we do at the department and how we do it, but most importantly, to empower you with the information so that you can, by and large, not only incorporate it and use it in your work, but that you will also find it helpful in your day-to-day lives. So much of what we do at the Department of Aging is the administrative role of things, but I hope to convey and share with you the direct output of the work that we do here at the state level. So first and foremost, you know that the Maryland Department of Aging, just like MIA, is a state department. Our particular department is part of the cabinet of the governor, and we are very, very proud of that because we're a very small department. We have less than 100 employees, and we administer more than $60 million in funding across our state. Our funds are both federal and state. We come under the National Older Americans Act, the law that establishes a state unit on aging in every state as well as territories. So there are 57 state units on aging that are associated with the U.S. Administration on Aging, and we are one of them. That entitles us to the opportunity to receive federal funding and to apply for specific grants. Here in the state, we also receive every year through legislation and through our opportunity to go to Annapolis to be considered for additional funds and resources. We receive considerable state funding, and that state funding works in tandem with our federal funding. And in many instances, it enhances and increases certain programs that we need more support in. So, for instance, we may get a federal allotment of money, but also with state funds, it gives us more power to circulate money throughout our state. We are a planner. We plan at the Maryland Department of Aging for services and opportunities and supports for people who are 60 years of age and older who live in the state of Maryland. And that gives us an incredible amount of responsibility to not only be the eyes and ears of every jurisdiction in our state, but to also be the eyes and ears of our partners at the state level, to be the eyes and ears of caregivers, and so many different audiences, nonprofit organizations. We take in all of the recommendations, all of the concerns, and many ideas. We also work in very close harmony with a commission on aging appointed by the governor, that provides tremendous leadership, review, and opportunity to support and improve the work that we are doing. We're also an advocate, not a legal advocate, but an advocate from the standpoint that we absolutely, positively look out for the best interest of older adults. We make sure that we take to our state government and to the federal level the concerns that we have for the welfare and the safety of older adults. And we continue to move forward with a strong voice to ensure that if there is not programming, if there is not a particular focus on an issue, that we make that plain to throughout our state. We regulate. We have 38 continuing care retirement communities in the state of Maryland, and the Maryland Department of Aging actually makes sure that the laws that are pertaining to what we call CCRCs, continuing care retirement homes, that those laws are not only in place, but that we are adhering to them as new continuing care homes are built, and that those who continuously operate are following all of the appropriate laws, policies, and procedures. And for those of you who are not familiar with CCRCs, as we call them as an acronym, continuing care retirement communities are places, they're dwellings where people live in group, and the consumer pays an entrance fee and a monthly amount, if you will, and the provider agrees to furnish shelter and health related services. And it's usually done through forming a contract that's typically considered a contract for life, that the person remains there through their entire retirement years. So we administer, we plan, we advocate, and we regulate. Next slide. So for the federal money that we receive, which is over $50 million in a given year, we must abide by the rules and the laws of the Older Americans Act and the Federal Health and Human Services Department. And that requires us to put together a state plan on aging. I'm pleased to say today that we were just approved, first by our governor and then by our federal counterparts at Health and Human Services, for a brand new state plan on aging, a 4-year plan. We launched it in October of 2021 and will go through September 30th of 2025. Not only does this state plan tell the federal government what we will do over the course of the next 4 years in preparation for receipt of the annual allotments of money, federal money, but it also shows how we integrate not just our federal work, but also our state funded work. And new this year are innovations, which I'll be talking about in just a moment. The state plan on aging is required of every state unit on aging. And the state plan not only gives us guidelines, but it also creates an opportunity for us to find a vision, a mission, goals, and measurable outcomes for every action step that we take. The state plan on aging can be found on our website, and I definitely invite you to take a look. And you will note that you're a part of our state plan in the sense that we commit to making sure that we work with our sister agencies whenever there is an opportunity, and we look for opportunities to partner to certainly better serve the older adult population. Next slide. So there are 5 areas where our department focuses. You will find this in our state plan. You will find this in our Managing for Results state level report that we put together. And you will find it in the organization of our department. First and foremost, we focus on elder rights And that work can be seen through everything we do in our long-term care ombudsman program. That is a program where we have trained advocates who go into nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and they check not just for safety, but for the happiness and wellness of the residents. They do complaint resolution. So if residents are unhappy, the long-term care ombudsmen are there to not just file official reports, but they're there to ensure that every resident is comfortable, and if changes can be made to the day-to-day activities and routines to ensure that every resident is happy, is safe, and above all, feels that they are very much a part of that environment. We also do elder rights as a part of legal services programs that we fund across the state. We never saw this program work so hard as when we saw it during COVID, when so many people were facing evictions from their apartments due to the fact that they could not afford their rent. Work had dried up, and we don't think of older adults working. We think of everybody as being in that retirement mode, but indeed, many older adults do work. We found evictions from homes, and our legal services stepped up to provide support with actions, legal actions that many older adults were facing. We also find that so many older adults need the support, the education, and the tools in order to prepare wills, to address living wills and healthcare power of attorney, as well as legal power of attorney. And our office also serves as the guardian of last resort when there are wards in the state who have no one stepping forward to supply them with a leadership and with that decision-making support. So if there's any person 60 years of age and older in our state, our guardianship program helps them by becoming that guardian for them and to support their daily decision making. We defer that to 19 different local jurisdictions, which we call area agencies on aging. They operate in every jurisdiction of our state, and they take on that local responsibility for being guardian of the people who are unable to care for themselves and need someone in that guardianship role. In terms of access, if you hear the acronym MAP, you will know that that is Maryland Access Point. We're so proud that over time, since the inception of our department, we have had a very vigorous approach to ensuring that people who need information can get it. Our Maryland Access Point operates in two ways. There are local sites at every area agency on aging throughout the state. So there are 19 places where people can call in to Maryland Access Point, and there are 19 places where people can walk in. So an older adult doesn't just have to call, they can actually walk into a MAP site and get a trained certified counselor who will sit and talk with them and to help them through their questions. We operate in MAP everything from providing a telephone number to a local senior center, all the way over across the continuum to ensure that if someone needs a plan of action, we can provide an options counseling plan of action. So in other words, we have trained counselors who help people to sit down and look at all of the challenges in their lives. And they will put together an action plan of using Maryland Department of Aging services, local area agency on aging services, and in many instances, services that our sister agencies provide. So think of MAP as that comprehensive gateway to information and assistance across the state. We also have a map website. So for those who are tech savvy and who like to get their information by working on the internet, we do have a map website that allows a person to put in a zip code and to identify areas of a challenge. And the website produces the direct connections to those services. Our department is really built on the notion that for every older adult in the state of Maryland, and we have 1.3 million people who are over the age of 60 in Maryland, we are looking to ensure health, safety, and happiness, and maintaining people in their homes and communities. Surveys across the decades have shown that people tend to want to stay at home rather than move to higher levels of care, even when it's recommended by the medical community. There's no place like home, and people tell us time and time again that home is where they're comfortable, where they feel connected. So much of the work that we do, in fact, all of the work that we do is really geared towards helping people to maintain in communities and then transition responsibly, if needed, to higher levels of care. So we support services that help people to get the nutrition, the legal services, the information and referral, the elder rights, and so much more through our individual programs. Health to us comes in the form of classes. We have health promotion, disease prevention classes that help people go through a series of training sessions to learn how to be more confident in walking and prevent falls, or be prepared if you actually do experience a fall. We have diabetes management and high blood pressure management and cancer classes. Most recently, and I would say there's a tremendous amount of interest in health promotion classes around dementia, not just for individuals who are experiencing it, but also for people who are the caregivers of those with emerging dementia. Now, when we think of aging, we think of, as I said, home being where the heart is. We want to make sure that we are looking at aging in a particular way, that if a person truly does need a higher level of care, our department has designed programs that assist in every way in helping a person to transition out of that aging in place to a new home that will provide and surround them with the medical supports necessary. But aging in place now has become, I think, not just nationally, but internationally, the focal point of ensuring that every service that you offer, that you're looking for just a particularly short checklist of how these services can help a person to be safe, how they can help a person to connect to the community and not isolate socially, how we can ensure that there are non-medical services as well as medical services that are integrated and provided in a way that supports the older adult. Now, partnerships is a big way that we accomplish all that we do. Just like MIA, you come with an established and a set budget. There are markers for you and goals for the work that you do. We have that as well. We have an established budget. Our state plan and other planning documents kind of lay the path work out for us. But we are always looking to apply for grants that provide additional funds. And we're always looking to work with our sister and brother agencies out there to collaborate and connect. Most recently, we've begun an exciting project with the University of Maryland that is striving to be age friendly. So we have funded interns that have been coming up with solutions for some of the greatest challenges in the work here at the Maryland Department of Aging. We work together with insurance whenever there are problems with fraud, abuse, rules not being followed in terms of marketing, insurance protection packages. And most notably, I'll speak to one program in particular where the Department of your Maryland Insurance Department has been particularly supportive, and that's our State Health Insurance Assistance Program. I could speak for days about the partnerships that we have, and all partnerships are not equal. We look to partnerships to help push us forward in areas where things are trending about keeping people in their homes. But one area that we are also very much invested in is supporting and surrounding veterans and making sure that they have a particular focus on their service, on their needs that are unique to veterans. And we also focus a lot on helping people transition out of nursing homes and assisted living facilities back into the community. So, hospital to home may be a term that you've heard, or maybe not, but just know that it's part of the language that we speak at the Department of Aging, and it focuses us on helping people who are institutionalized to get back into the community. Next slide. So here's a look at our older adult population, and I point you to the direction of the trajectory. You see that the Maryland's older population is growing. It is a steady upward climb, and you will note that one of the challenges for our department is to keep pace with that growth. Not necessary that our department has one-on-one service package for every older adult in our state, but it is truly important for us to look at the incredible uh, platform that we hold in our state to, number one, be that source of unique and trusted information. We make that available to everyone. And when we get down into the actual services that we have, the meals that we serve across the state, the transportation that is provided, and some of the direct services, the senior center participation, we know that in order to keep pace with the growth of the population, we must think creatively. We must think about innovation. And it's one of the reasons why, with our new state plan on aging, which started October 1 of 2021, we embrace the vision of change the trajectory of aging. We don't anticipate that the federal and the state funding will hold pace with the growth of the older adult population. So we're challenged to do more for the growing population with the resources that we are given. And so that means we must think creatively, out of the box. We want to be efficient with the money we have. How do we serve more with less? So that's the challenge that we face every day at the department. Next slide. So one way that we have looked at facing the challenge of the growth in our population and the reason why we want to change the trajectory of aging, which means helping people to stay at home and us providing the supports and surrounding them with opportunities in order to do so, we thought in the direction of three innovations, ways in which we could improve safety, improve mobility, as well as improve non-medical service provision for older adults across our state. Next slide. For the past 7 years, Secretary Kramer and I have been working very hard to ensure that there is a free option for every older Marylander to be able to call into one number, or actually have that one number call them, and daily to check in on their safety and their well-being. So for Maryland residents who are 65 and older, Senior Call Check provides that automated once-a-day call. Uh, the recipient or the person at home simply has to acknowledge that the call has come through, either on a landline or on their cell phone. They can just press a number and say, I've received the call. They can also hang in there and receive a daily message that is designed to help them to manage through their day. So there could be a message about fraud. There could be a message about insurance, even. So we might want to reach out and partner with you to think through some opportunities and new options for daily call messaging. What are some of the messages that you'd like to see MIA on the Senior Call Check line, so that when a person picks up, they are able to verify, hey, I'm okay today, but they hang on and they get a helpful message. Nutrition, being active, getting exercise, taking care of your health, staying hydrated. But what if we do MIA messaging? So think about that, and we'd love to follow up and talk with you about messages periodically that might be added to our Senior Call Check daily messaging. We love this service because it gives everyone 65 and older that opportunity for free to say, hey, I've got a structured system checking on me. If a person doesn't pick up on that line and doesn't verify that they're okay, there is a layered and a textured order of things behind that call, where someone is eventually called to check in on that older adult. So we go through a number of steps in the process, but it's a safety measure. Now, if I had a poll right now, what I'd ask you is, how many Senior Call Check subscriptions do you think we have in the state of Maryland? And remember, I said there are 1.3 million older adults, and certainly a little fewer. So we're probably just under a million of people 65 and older. How many subscriptions do you think we have? Well, I won't keep you guessing long. We have just over 1,000. This is an area that gives us great concern. We think that there's room for tremendous growth in this area. With only 1,000, close to 1,100 subscriptions, we are challenged daily to try to figure out how we increase the Senior Call Check subscription. So I'm going to deputize everybody on the line today to become great ambassadors for Senior Call Check. Reach out to someone you know that is an older Marylander, and let them know that for no cost, they don't have to wear it around their neck as a personal emergency response system. There is a call that comes into the household on a daily basis, and they literally just press a button to let us know that they are okay. So sound fair that we deputize you to all promote Senior Call Check to people who are 65 years of age and older and Maryland residents. Next slide. So durable medical equipment reuse. When Secretary Kramer came into the department more than 7 years ago, she was astonished at the amount of equipment, hospital beds, wheelchairs, canes, bathroom transfer equipment that were making it onto the piles of our dumps. And she wanted to do something that would recycle and reuse used equipment. Next slide. So we came up with the Durable Medical Equipment Reuse Program. Here you see in all of its glory, but not, well, most of its glory, not all. You see some pictures of some of the equipment that can be found at the center. Our headquarters are down in Prince George's County. We have an incredibly large warehouse there. And later on in the presentation, I'll show you that we actually do have quite a few satellite sites across the state where people can call in or drop off things. But our main headquarters where the equipment is housed and stored is in Prince George's County. You'll see a list there of not only items that we're looking to pick up, items that are gently used, but also, so we do need donations, but items that are have been recycled and are available. Again, free of charge to, get this, not just people 60 years of age and older, but any age. So for anyone and every person that's on this call, you could actually tap in for an older adult family member or friend, but you could also tap in for yourself or even for children. Many grandparents are raising grandchildren, and equipment may not be a part of the insurance, or there may be delays in processing insurance. So our durable medical equipment really makes it very, very easy. And I think somebody just posted up, what's the address? We're going to share all of that with you here during the presentation. So next slide. Here you see what happens when we pick up equipment or it's dropped off through donation. There are federal as well as state standards that we follow to sanitize all of the equipment. And there's inspection and repair that's done to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape. Next slide. Here, we're showing you a couple of images of a mock station where if people are coming in to learn about the equipment, not just pick it up, but to learn about it, we have mock stations to demonstrate usage. Most, if not all, of the equipment come with packaged materials, just as you would find coming from a store. The materials are put together to support the use at home. But again, the mock station, I think, tells the whole story where the equipment is at the main headquarters is placed out in a way that coming in, you can see it, touch it, and actually get some hands-on demonstration. Next slide. So here is a depiction of our state, and you'll see where we have the durable medical equipment main warehouse down in Prince George's County. We have in varying parts of the state places where they are central to taking orders and getting the application process going. We do count on residents to, or anyone participating in the program, to bring in equipment that they're donating, but we also make arrangements for pickup of extra large equipment, as well as the delivery of extra large. But most of the motion is having the person who is participating in the program to make arrangements for their delivery of donations and their pickup. And you'll see the flags that show you the different places where we have information and donation sites. Next slide. So here's our contact information. I invite you to go to our website. It explains it in great detail and provides you with everything you need to know about those stars on the calendar of what you can anticipate and expect at those satellite centers, and what you can expect of the main headquarters down in Prince George's County. The folks at the reuse center are always welcoming of your phone calls. So you'll see, in addition to our website for the department, there's also a phone number to dial, and there's also email that you can send. Next slide. So, Community for Life is a new approach to ensuring that we address this change, the trajectory of aging. It's that person climbing up on a step ladder to replace a light bulb or to change out a battery in a fire alarm, that literally steps up and has uh, a fatal crash where they find themselves not only going into the hospital, but with broken bones, maybe graduating to a higher level of care that could be temporary, but it could be a change in the entire span of the person's lifetime where they do move into a higher level of care. So the thought process was that, life happens. What if we created a program, Maryland Community for Life, that has a non medical focus on home maintenance, information exchange through navigators and transportation. So, again, non medical, but that might prevent some of the daily mishaps or the times when life just gets in the way. Um, but also anticipates the fact that if people have more information, they are now able to do better and make safer choices in the home. Next slide. So here, through home maintenance, you see that with the Community for Life program, and by the way, this is a program that is not free of charge. This is a pay into membership program that is $200 per month for those who, when this program was designed, it was thought that those people who were above Medicaid, but who could pay for a membership like this, would prevent them from falling down into that Medicaid status, not only saving federal and state money, but also saving that older adult from the spending out and spending down and using up savings. So this is a subscription-based program. Not everyone in the state of Maryland is in a position to pay a $200 membership fee. Many people are. And for those who are not, there are programs now that we're working on with the Maryland Department of Health to make sure that there are scholarships for the Community for Life program. So this program doesn't have an income cutoff or guideline. It simply exists as a membership service. And we're now so pleased to say that for the first time, we're working with health to create some scholarships for those who cannot afford it. But here you'll see one of the biggest services, which is the home maintenance handyman coming in to provide some of those um, scheduled but typical, uh, very, very small kinds of handy assistance things. Like here you see changing of filters, changing that light bulb, doing home safety inspections. And also, I think you all will find this very important, providing a list of vetted contractors. So many scams are successful out there when people are given the opportunity to get in to a contract that does not have that older adult's best interests at heart. So through our home maintenance segment of Communities for Life, they do put together a list of vetted and respected and safe to contact contractors for people to use in their home maintenance. Here you'll see a statistic about falls and the reason for accidental injuries and death. Again, the home maintenance portion of Community for Life took this statistic in mind. Next slide. So service navigation. Earlier you heard me talk about MAP, Maryland Access Point, which serves every person, not just older adults, but caregivers and any of you on the line who are curious about services that the Department of Aging offers. Here within the Community for Life program, it's more of a one-on-one service navigator initiated conversation. Rather than what you see in our MAP INA, you, the general public, initiate that call into our MAP to ask questions. Here, the service navigator makes regular and routine calls and checks in with the member to find out if they have questions about services. They also work to coordinate services that best address a person's need. They are also those cheerleaders and concierges, if you will, that encourage social activities within the community. They're there to tell the person, hey, this is what's happening in your community. You may want to think about participating. And they also provide review of contracts to help prevent fraud. And again, we try to put in just a little bit of detail here to help you to see the return on investment and the added value that Community for Life provides with the service navigation. The navigators are trained through coursework and are given the utmost when it comes to customer service, but also understanding of the services within the jurisdiction where they're focusing. Next slide. Transportation, this is a big one. I would say transportation is one of the most frequently requested services coming through our MAP INA, and particularly for people who are living in the community, living in their own apartments, their own homes. They can do it. They can make it if they just had the transportation. Well, we do have transportation services, limited though they may be outside of Community for Life. But here within the Community for Life membership, there are trips that are embedded in that membership. So there are a certain number of round trips per month that are part of that membership. And again, helping to maintain that independence, helping to increase that opportunity to stay engaged and connecting with family and friends, and saving money too. Next slide. Here you will see that we are expanding Community for Life opportunities across the state. Currently, we have 11 counties or jurisdictions, I should say, of 19. 11 of 19 are at some stage of developing the Community for Life. So you can take a look there at the rundown and think about where you live, or the older adults in your life who live in Maryland, and you can kind of match up and see where there may be an opportunity for membership. Next slide. So here's the contact information. Again, our website not only has written information, but I do believe we have a video there that helps to go through the Community for Life story. And we also provide here additional information for you to reach out and connect with us. Next slide. So we have a program called the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. We call it SHIP for short. And SHIP was developed, some 20, 30 years ago as a program that was needed because so many people were making decisions about health insurance, but did not know how to make those decisions. In other words, they didn't have the acumen to really understand insurance, and they did not have the acumen to compare, and particularly for people going into Medicare. There was the thought that they needed to do a couple of things. Number one, understand how Medicare works, but number two, understand how to make good decisions about complementing and supplementing Medicare with additional insurances. And how do you enroll? When do you make changes? Since the time that SHIP has been in operation for more than 3 decades, we have had the addition of prescription drug assistance. So that has rounded out even more opportunity for older adults to better understand their buying power. How do I get the best prescription drug program to meet my needs? So this program, by and large, serves as a safety net. It's considered unbiased. It provides people information so that they can choose and make their choices that best meet their needs. And SHIP counselors actually do walk people through options. They also support the enrollment process, and they also review bills and statements and help people to understand whether or not they are being charged properly. We love the SHIP program and we love your support of the SHIP program. Each and every year that we do something on Medicare open enrollment, MIA is there with us as a part of the training team, and we so appreciate that. You give us great training for our SHIP counselors to understand fraud and insurance packages that are not necessarily up to snuff. And so we look to you for that great partnership in helping our counselors to um, make the best selections in insurance packages and to share that with people who call. Next slide. And by the way, we have paid and volunteer counselors who go through rigorous training and certification in order to talk about Medicare and also Medicare supplemental packages, and to help people navigate the maze of Medicare. We also have a program that's called Senior Medicare Patrol. And this is one that's particularly focused on picking up scams and fraud. It helps everyone understand what Medicare fraud actually is, how to prevent it, how to detect it, and how to report it. You'd be surprised that if people don't know how to read their Medicare summary notices, those are called MSNs. If they don't know it, they could be double or triple billed for services that were never rendered just through error. Um, and also, we do know that identity theft in Medicare is on the rise. So, Senior Medicare Patrol is by and large made of older adult volunteers who are out there as ambassadors of the SHIP program, helping people to understand their how to read their notices and to protect their Medicare card and their other insurance cards, but also how to detect when someone is calling, knocking on the door, or reaching them through email with a scam. Next slide. So, June, all around the world, is Elder Abuse Awareness Time. During this month, don't be surprised if you see on television or the radio, or if you get, notices on your phone. You may see a little bit more about elder abuse this time of year. Every year, it's estimated that more than 5 million people across the country are victims of elder abuse. And we define it in these 5 ways: neglect, exploitation, uh, financial neglect, sexual, and even self neglect. We don't think about a person inflicting harm on themselves, but there are some people who are not capable of living independently, or not capable of providing the best support and care of themselves. So neglect is seen as one form of elder abuse. Next slide. I'd say by and large, we see most of the abuse coming through financial exploitation. But I have to look at some of the numbers on that. We certainly see and particularly during COVID, where caregivers and care recipients were put together, the verbal abuse and the sort of the subtle ways in which abuse can take form. It doesn't always have to be physical, but sometimes it is that as well. But we want to serve as that educator through the Maryland Department of Aging, giving every opportunity for everyone to understand what abuse looks like and what forms it takes. And we deputize everyone to be in that space of knowing how and where to report it. Tomorrow, around the nation, we celebrate World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, and it's a time when we're pushing out messaging in every state in our nation, every country around the world, to help people to understand that elder abuse is real. This is what it looks like. These are the forms it takes. And yes, please report. Save a life. Abuse takes place in home settings, apartments. It takes place in nursing facilities. It takes place in assisted living facilities. Everywhere you find an older adult living, there is that potential or that opportunity for elder abuse. Here in our state, you may see PSAs, you may see announcements coming out with Project Safe. Project Safe is a group of state agencies and nonprofits who come together on a monthly basis and meet and talk about how to ensure that banks and policemen and fire departments and others in the community are ambassadors for the prevention of elder abuse. So our Project Safe here in Maryland may have a number of activities going on during this month, but particularly this week. So if you see a PSA, it may be something that was put together by Project Safe. And we always look for opportunities through insurance to work with you to help us to do a better job of exposing financial elder abuse. Next slide. Well, this is where I think I've left maybe a minute or a second for you to provide any questions that you may have. I just want to put a great shout out for our website as that place where you can go and find just everything that I've spoken about. Every particular program has a profile there. Some videos are there, and downloads for you if you need brochures or contact information or something to share with someone else. So I thank you for having this time with you, but also if there's a question or two that I might take.
So Bernice, I'm going to go through the chat and capture any questions I see. I think you caught a couple of them as you were going, so I apologize in advance.
No, not at all.
Do a repeat.
That's okay.
There was a lot of chatter in the chat.
Yes. And I think if we can rip the chat, and if there are some, or if you could just rip the chat for us and share, if there are some questions that we don't get to, I'd love to follow up with answers to anything that we don't answer here today. But I definitely want everybody to just stand up and put one right hand up And we want to deputize each and every person as that ambassador for our department, and just sharing the love, sharing the programs, sharing knowledge of these programs with someone in your life who's 60 and older, or a caregiver in your life who may need the support. We have a national family caregiver support program, so there's effort and opportunity there as well to support our caregivers who are not even 60 yet.
Thanks, Bernice. So there is a question here. Is there a listing of active senior citizen communities that you could point people to?
Yes, and there is a listing of the CCRCs, the continuing care retirement communities, on our website. We do not have a listing of all of the independent senior citizens apartment buildings. That would be something that our sister agency, Department of Housing, might maintain. But I would just tell the individual that if you're looking in a particular jurisdiction or county, call our MAP, and they will be great at providing you options within a particular county.
Thanks, Bernice. I have a comment. I volunteer with Be More Community Mediation. Any interest in collaboration, especially with ombudsman, with options to mediate?
Oh, absolutely. Reach out to me and I'll connect you through introduction to Stevan Ellis, our long-term care ombudsman in our department, and to Leonard Croft, who is our elder rights coordinator. So just reach out to me, bernice.hutchinson at bernice.hutchinson at maryland.gov, and I will make that warm transfer and connection to you with what you want to do. And if there's an interest in doing something more globally, agency to agency, definitely Joy and I can get together. So if you all have some bigger ideas, just let us know.
Thanks, Bernice.
Mm-hmm.
What about where could someone locate information on mental health services not dementia related?
Yes, great question. So we are amping up and ramping up our work with the Maryland Department of Health. We are woefully challenged in this area. And I think we are while we are working hard to make more resources available, again, our Maryland Access Point is the starting point. We try to make everything not come from the state to the individual, but we work from the community up. So our money trickles down, but we ask that you focus on the county in which the person lives, and that would be the specific MAP, Maryland Access Point, and they will be able to give you the resources for mental health services. Department of Health is working on so many different ways that through their local departments of health, they're making not only counseling available, but informational pieces on what to expect with mental illness. And we also just launched a 5-year plan to study how we can better start to come together to address cognitive and behavioral health issues. So beyond the dementia, looking at the behavioral health needs.
Thanks, Bernice.
Start with MAP. Yeah, start with MAP is the key there.
Laura Evans asked how the senior call check program is being advertised.
So we're doing a lot of advertising through social media, through our Facebook, through Twitter. We have a mailing list. We invite everyone to join it. Messages go out through that. We just finished a television advertisement opportunity where we had Maryland Senior Call Check advertised for picking up through broadcast. And while we did see some tread, Not a lot. So again, we're still struggling. So we hope to do more broadcast media. We are putting flyers out at events. We're working through our 19 area agencies on aging in the community. We welcome any ideas that you have and any opportunities that we can partner to get the word about Senior Call Check out.
Thanks. Cynthia asked about partnerships with churches. Do you have any partnerships with churches?
Again, I think an area where we are definitely not doing as much as we can, but we have had through some of the very specific programs in our department, particularly the SHIP, the Medicare assistance program. We've been working with churches, but we definitely need room to grow there to work with more faith-based organizations. We think that that's really the way not only to get messages out, but also to get partnerships for ongoing messaging. Definitely will take your ideas. We would love, love, love any specific ideas you have.
Sheila asked, do you use Lions Club with medical equipment loan programs for DME?
I don't think we do. Thank you for that idea. I'm going to share that with our director of durable medical equipment right now, Lions Clubs.
I don't know if this is I'm going to read this question. I don't know if it's one you can answer, but due to the inability to get out of the tub, how does one revamp or have a walk-in tub installed? The person is very scared they will fall.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to the number on our slides that connects to our durable medical equipment reuse program. Call them. Don't rely on our website for this, but talk through this issue. I am amazed at the amount of bathroom transfer equipment that they do have at the reuse program. And my guess is that our director is a former physical therapist. He may have hopefully a portfolio or a list of some ideas of next steps to support not just bathroom safety, but to talk about the different types of equipment for transferring that they have beyond the Hoyer lifts, but other types of bathroom safe transfer equipment, and possibly some other recommendations for how to go forward with that.
Thanks, Bernice. And it looks like they got a little bit of support.
Yeah, Ian
well.
Edwards is the person's name in our department that when you call that number, I don't know if Ian will be the one actually answering the phone, but Ian Edwards is our director of our durable medical equipment program. Just let him know that I sent you, and you're in for a real treat in speaking with him.
Okay, so you said Ann or Ann Edwards?
Ian. No,
Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Ian Edwards. Jan Pennington asked, how many seniors are enrolled in the MD Community for Life program?
That I will have to get back to you with an answer on that. I think that we've got somewhere just over 200, but I don't have an exact number. Barbara, you're on the line. I don't know if you have an exact number of the durable medical equipment. If you do, you can share it in the chat.
I don't
she actually just shared in the chat that it's approximately 200.
Okay, great. Perfect.
And Bernice, I hate to cut you off. This is Joy, because you've given us so much information, but we're going to have to bring this to a close. There have been I've seen a lot of questions about whether or not this presentation will be made available. If you just go to our website within the next, I'd say 3 or 4 days, we'll post both the presentation and all of the slides there so that you can review it again or else share it with someone. It's just a lot of excellent information. And I also can tell you, go to the Department of Aging's website. They have so much valuable information that everyone can join and learn from. And the Department of Aging has basically ambassadors in every county to help with all types of things. I mean, one of the programs that Bernice didn't have a chance to talk about today was the nutrition program, which is such a wonderful program for our seniors. So basically spread the word, because I know some of the numbers seem low, but that's because people don't know about these excellent
Yes.
sources that are available. So,
Yes.
Bernice, do you have any closing comments that you'd like to make?
I know we're way over, and you know what, Joy, I actually left the nutrition out because I knew that Tammy had come over. But yes, we have so many nutrition programs in the community, home delivered. We even have curbside pickup, guys, not just associated with COVID. We call it grab and go, and we have monthly boxes of shelf stable pantry items that go out under the My Groceries to Go program. So, in closing, I just want to say ditto to everything that Joy has just said. We couldn't do this alone. We administer at the state level, we regulate, and we plan, and we organize, and we advocate. But we funnel that money down to our area agencies on aging, and they are those Maryland access points of light. So for every county there, and you might be doing your math, there are 24 counties in our state. We have 19 area agencies. So two of our area agencies have multiple counties. That's why it doesn't add up to 24 points of light. So I invite you to website us, look at our website, and number two, to contact that local area agency on aging based on the counties they serve. And then number three, always feel like you have a home in us. Contact us, contact me if there's a question. And we look to partner with you in the future as we currently do. We look to continue to do that. So thank you so much, Joy and Pat, for having me. And I'm always trying to get on your radar for future presentations. But if you have a topic you want us to cover, let us know, and we'll send another presenter over, or maybe I'll come back too. Thank you for having me.
Great, Bernice. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. Joyce Peach is going to put a quick survey into the chat. If you want to give us a little bit of feedback there, we would appreciate that. That'll show up in the chat in a second. Again, thank you, Bernice, for all that great information. Thanks to all of you who attended today's event. We do hope you join us in July for our next events. We have Wednesday, July 13th. We have an event, tips for shopping for auto insurance. On July 20th, we will talk about auto insurance some more. We're going to discuss various auto insurance scenarios. And on July 28th, which is a Thursday, we're going to have a homeowners insurance event. So we have these three events that are coming up in July that we do hope that you will join us for. But thank you, Bernice. Thank you, everyone, for this great event today, and hope to see you at our events in the future.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lenora. I may have missed it because I'm trying to do 10 things at one time, but will we get a copy of the presentation?
That you can get a copy of the presentation on our website. Joyce, could you share that link? Because it may have, there's a lot going on in the chat, so it might be kind of difficult to find at this point. So hold up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one other question. She spoke about training. I'd be interested in learning about, and I put it in the chat, becoming a trainer to share this information with seniors in the community.
An ambassador, yes.
Yes.
You know what I'll do, Pat? I will follow up with you and with Joy and explain where we have training opportunities or
Yes.
opportunities to learn more about specific programs and to get those materials. So I will respond back to you all with that. So
Perfect.
Barbara, you and I will talk on that.
Thanks.
Thank you. This was a
Thanks so
great
much.
presentation, very informative. Thank you.
Thanks. And Lenora, you can grab that link that just appeared in the chat from Joyce Peach.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. And the webinar should appear soon. So thank you everyone again, and hope to see you at our events in the future. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you.